Hey, what's up? This is The Rock. Smash that free like button if you think that I'm the mastermind of this new version of the Bloodline. Let's just say this, it's not a coincidence that all these guys were brought in after I became a board member. The WWE had no interest in these three men, so who had the power to bring in these three savages?
You see, this is why I bash all elite wrestling. I don't do it to be cool. I don't do it as a trend. I do it because I feel like Tony Khan, man, has talent on his roster that he can push and that he should push. But this dude, he loves to push based on his favorites and what he looks for in his version of fake pro wrestling. So I'm like, I watched Dynamite and I'm like, bro, what is up with this fucking Daniel Garcia glazing segment? It's like, wow, man, it's like, this is so forced. I called it the Denny Garcia glazing cock segment. Listen, Denny Garcia, he has no business being in the same ring as Will No Spray and MJF. Okay, this is forced. This is nepotism. It's like he feels like a poor man's Orange Cassidy in terms of he must be a favorite of Con Man for him to be pushed like this. This dude, he's been beating dudes that are bigger than him. He's been beating dudes under 2 minutes. He's been beating guys that are better than him lately. I'm like, wow, so when it comes to Denny Garcia, he gets tons of TV time and fucking Wardlow, he's at home watching. So let's compare the contrast on why people have stopped watching all elite wrestling. It's shit like this. That is a huge problem. We are seeing a forced segment with fucking Denny Garcia and Will No Spray and Max, two of your biggest stars in your company. Okay, why? It's like there is just a weird contrast on two TV shows. On SmackDown, we are seeing Triple H trying to push the new Bloodline. We are seeing Triple H trying to push Solo Sikoa. We are seeing Triple H trying to push Jacob Fatu. But on this channel, we are seeing Denny Garcia getting pushed like he's a star, like he's a rising star, like he's going to be equal to Max and Will No Spray. And you wonder why people have stopped watching. You wonder why now your new ceiling is maybe over 700,000 viewers. Wow, you wonder why your numbers are going down. I'm like, wow, so I just found this out, that they gave Kyle O'Reilly a new nickname. It's called the Violent Artist. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? Right? Are you trying to disrespect the name martial artist? See, that's when you piss me off, bro. What the fuck is a violent artist? That's news to me. What's a violent artist? So, do you draw violent artwork? It's like, what is a violent artist? Do you draw people getting their head chopped off? What is a violent artist? That's crazy. Nigga, just call yourself a martial artist. It's like, stop trying to complicate things. A violent artist, that's crazy. But you gotta look at this whole entire show. That last Dynamite, man, so they are trying to tease a match between Garcia and Will No Spray. Then they tried to tease a match with Garcia and MJF at your biggest show of the year, Wembley Stadium. Are you out of your fucking mind? Bro, you can't waste Max on this guy. Like, what? Don't even tease that. You can't waste Will No Spray on this guy. Don't even tease that. Wow, man, you crazy? Wow, bro. Tony Khan, man, like I said, he says he books for the sickos. That's a bold-faced lie. He books for himself. This is his version of GMO on 2K. He books for himself. He don't book for his audience. He books for himself. This is what he likes. He is Vince McMahon 2.0 in terms of he books for only one guy. He books for himself. That's how I view it. He booked for an audience of one. That is just the biggest proof in the world. Because when was the last time we saw Wardlow on TV? Bro, he is in that faction. He is in the Undisputed Kingdom. He's in that faction. Where's he at? Like, that makes no fucking sense. So, maybe Wardlow will leave soon because there's no excuse to have him at home when he is in this faction, but he's not on TV. Maybe Con Man found out Wardlow wants to leave. Maybe he found out that Starks really wants to leave, so maybe that's why he is not booking those guys. Maybe Wardlow is waiting out his contract. But let's just compare what we are seeing on both of these channels. So, on SmackDown, we saw Jacob Fatu have a badass entrance. So, obviously, they are trying to feature Jacob as a big deal of this group. And I respect that, right? Because a lot of people don't know who the fuck he is, right? There's tons of people in that audience that don't know who the fuck he is. So, you gotta book him strong so the audience can take him seriously. So, on Fox, they are trying to push Jacob Fatu and Solo and the Bloodline. But on this network, we are pushing Denny Garcia, the first segment on the show. A guy who does a freaky ass dance. And he is small. So, on the first segment, we are seeing two short, small men. Like I said last week, short, small men don't draw in professional motherfucking wrestling. Let me repeat. Short, small men don't draw in professional wrestling. Tony Khan, man. Fuck. Holy fuck. You don't get it. So if I'm a casual, I'm seeing two small men in leather jackets on my TV screen, and I gotta pretend like this is a big deal. I gotta pretend like, oh man, what a dream match. fucking Max versus Denny Garcia. Then Will No Spray. This guy has to shield. This guy has to sell out. Why? Bro, this segment was the definition of forced. It's like, on what planet do we want to see Will No Spray versus Garcia? Bro, this was forced. Ospreay is a goddamn sellout. Because it feels like Conor May forced him to go out there and put this guy over. I say, why? And so we got fucking Brian Cage, a jobber. We got Big Cass, jobber. Wardlow, jobber. Hobbs, jobber. Lance Archer, jobber. Okay, let's compare that to Garcia, star. Max, star. Orange Cassidy, star. Wheeler Useless, star. Kyle O'Reilly, the violent artist, rising star, right? That's what we are seeing on our TV screens. That makes no sense. Then we gotta pretend like Zack Sabre Jr. is a big deal. Wow. So we gotta pretend when it comes to that. It's just, I don't get it. It's a weird contrast. What do I feel about Swerve Scott up to this point? Now, if I was booking Swerve Scott, I would give him a long, strong title reign for maybe 8 months. But based on how he's being booked like an afterthought. He's being booked like his championship has a expiration date, right? We are seeing more segments of Will No Spray over Swerve Scott, your world champion. So I'm like, damn, bro. As a casual fan perspective, I'm like, Will No Spray, he feels more like a world champion than Swerve Scott. That's a problem. It should get to a point where it feels like Will No Spray feels more like a world champion than Swerve Scott. I don't know, man. I am leaning towards Will No Spray beating Swerve Scott for this world title. But I gotta blame that on Conor Man. Obviously, he likes Ospreay more than Swerve Scott. Because, man, Will No Spray, he is all over this show. Shit, he is all over this show. Bro, just give him the world title at this point in time, bro. Fuck. It's like, Con Man, he has to be the biggest Will No Spray, big cock, nuts hugger. It's like, it's obvious, man. He's all over the show. He feels like the world champion. I say, shit, just give Will No Spray the world title. That's how it looks. Because on paper, it feels like they are trying to lean towards Max versus Will No Spray for the world title at Wembley Stadium. That's how it looks. Why? Because it feels like those two are big attractions. And Swerve Scott, I'm sorry, he is not an attraction. Right now, Swerve Scott is nothing more than an entrance. That's all. He's nothing more than a theme song. But I wouldn't blame that on him. I gotta blame Con Man based on his shit booking. He books Swerve Scott like a mid-carder. And I'm like, man, that's whack. But based on the current theme, on what I'm seeing, it looks like Will No Spray, man, he might beat Swerve Scott for that world title. Just to get the belt on Will No Spray for Wembley Stadium. Because why would you tease Ospreay and Max? Why? So it just makes all the sense in the world to have Will No Spray in the main event at Wembley Stadium against your biggest star, Max. I say, why not? I think that's where this is heading. Unfortunately, that's where this is heading. Swerve Scott, man, he might go down as the worst world champion in all Elite Wrestling history. Thanks to Tony Khan, man. Now, I did hear that Penta wants to come to the World Wrestling Federation. And I feel like, why not? That is a great trade-off, right? We will give you Ricochet for Penta. I say, why not? Penta has more charisma than Ricochet. Penta, man, he fits Raw. He fits SmackDown. He fits NXT. I'm like, bro, that is a great trade-off. Let's do this trade. I never had an issue with Penta. So, why not? Ricochet and Penta. Switch shows. It fits on both sides. But overall, man, this whole entire show, I don't get it. It just, every week, man, I come on here and I say, why are big men jobbers on this show? Like I said, this roster has talent. Just, they got a shitty ass booker who books based on favoritism on what he looks for. He don't book for the sickos. My God, why did he say that? Bro, you book for yourself. You don't book for your fucking fans. You book for yourself. You book on what you want to see. Why? Bro, nobody is pushing for Denny Garcia. He doesn't have a fan base. His biggest fan is Tony Khan, man. Okay? He doesn't have a fan base. They like that dumbass dance, but it ends there. Khan Man is the only guy who likes this guy. I don't know what he sees in Denny Garcia. This has been going on for 2-3 years. The push of Garcia, I don't understand it. Why is he pushed more than Wardlow, Hobbs? Hobbs is just a jobber afterthought. Same as Wardlow. But why? Listen, nobody cares about technical, fake pro wrestling. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares about the BBC, right? Nobody cares about Dean Ambrose, fucking Bryan Danielson, Cesaro, Wheeler Useless. Nobody cares about the BBC. Like, why are you pushing these work rate factions? Work rate does not draw. 5-star motherfucking matches don't draw. Nobody cares about headlocks. Nobody cares about cross faces. Nobody cares about mat wrestling. We want to see larger than life characters, larger than life storylines. How come everybody is talking about the Bloodline 2.0? Our real tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. We are talking about that. We don't care about what's going on Dynamite. I mean, we can, but they have a dumb writer on their show, and that's Con Man. He is holding back this company, even though this company has talent, but he don't know how to use that talent. He wants to push guys who look the motherfucking same, and that's a huge problem. See, on Fridays, we are seeing fucking LA cosplay versus Logan Paul. We are seeing that. We are seeing the rise of, I don't know, a good guy version of Roman Reigns. We are seeing a good guy version of Paul Heyman, right? We are seeing stuff like that. We are seeing the rise of our tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. We are seeing the rise of a newer, stronger bloodline. We are seeing storylines. We are seeing what's going to happen with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. What's going to happen? Why is Nia Jax helping out Tiffany Stratton? I'm saying we are seeing stuff like that. We are seeing who's going to cash in on super thick Bayley. We are seeing storylines, man, fuck. But Dynamite, man, we are seeing Daniel Garcia. We gotta be convinced that he's on the same level as Will Ospreay and Max. That's what Con Man is pushing as an agenda on his show. We are forced to see Orange Cassidy. Now, let me confront you Orange Cassidy, small cock, nuts huggers. Right? People are saying, well, why not have Orange Cassidy on your show? He is your biggest draw. No, he is not. This is not 2021. People are over this guy, right? He's no longer viral. Okay, he's old. He's done. Nobody cares about his character, his gimmick. He's over. He's done. He has passed his expiration date with this gimmick. He is milking this gimmick dry. It's dry. Do something else. Change your wardrobe. Why don't you wear black jeans? Do something different. Wear tights. Do something. Evolve. Like, why are we seeing Orange Cassidy every week? He's no longer an attraction. That was a fad. He was a meme. That's all. He was a meme. Now it's over. We gotta move on, man. Why is he your most pushed star on your show? He works every week. He is a workhorse, but in a bad way. Like, I think he has the most wins in all Elite Wrestling history at this point in time. Okay, that's a huge problem. But, bro, nobody wants to see Orange Cassidy in terms of, listen, nobody dresses up as Orange Cassidy anymore. Nobody does it now. You know why? That was a fad. That was a meme. It's over. We have moved on. Orange Cassidy should not be seen every week. He's a boring promo. He has an old gimmick. Move the fuck on. That's all I'm saying. But to make a long story short, we are seeing on Raw, we are seeing Triple H trying to push Bron Breakker. Con Man is trying to push Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy like they are big deals. That's what we are seeing. That is a huge contrast, man. We are seeing Triple H trying to feature Carmelo Hayes. But on this channel, we are seeing Con Man trying to push Daniel Garcia like he's a big deal. And you wonder why your ratings is going down. We want to see guys who look like stars, not guys who you are trying to make a star based on your bias. That's why nobody's watching. That's why we are over your show at this point in time. Okay, where's Wardlow, right? I hate when people say, oh, Wardlow, he's boring, he's this, he's that. Okay, if we gave Triple H and Shawn Michaels a TV and we forced them to watch Dynamite, and let's say they saw Wardlow on TV wrestling Denny Garcia, who do you think Triple H would want to sign and bring in? If he saw a match between Wardlow and Danny Garcia, who do you think Triple H and Shawn Michaels would sign? That's the point I'm trying to make. You are Elite Wrestling small cock nut huggers. That's what I'm trying to prove to you. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck if you think Wardlow is boring. He's this, he's that. Bitch, he is a future WWF main eventer. That's all I'm saying. Triple H is going to make sure he's a main eventer. There's levels to this. Now, maybe Triple H would be interested in, I don't know, maybe a Jay White. It's crazy. Triple H, he's trying to push guys who look like stars from a cosmetic standpoint. Con Man, he's pushing guys that look like they work at Starbucks. That's where the issue lies. And you wonder why people have stopped watching. You wonder why they can't reach 800,000. It's like, bro, you got to read the room. You are pushing guys that the audience at home don't care about. But I'm done.